each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Trudging Tuesday. I was way late on that. Now, Restreamer is now saying it's my CPU usage and that I have too many tabs open. They're like, it shouldn't be above 80%. I've been working on computers since before these people were born. And it drives me a little nuts that they keep saying it's my fault. Okay. I used to build computers. I used to install these really large phone systems. Okay. I had to go to training for phone systems for 3 months. I was a Microsoft certified engineer. Okay. Thank God at least and no offense, don't take offense, but it's just hard to talk to somebody that doesn't speak your language. So at least I got that. That helps. All right. Because I don't want to put anybody down. So I'll just say, and that could be true for anybody. Heck, it might be hard for some people to understand me, right? So, we do what we can. It's more funny than it is anything. I gotta laugh at it. And I went and looked at it. It rides about, 11%. So I'm gonna do a quick screenshot here. Bada boom. There's their screenshot. Oh, it went up to 15%. Didn't even get close to 80. I'll take care of that after the live. So, morning, Amber. Back when people would actually train for a job for 3 months. Oh, well, they were paying me at the same time. I was being paid to do that. But I had to go through a series of, this was back in 96, 97, right? And they paid me for it. They were paying me like $16 an hour. I had to go through that training, but I had to take like 5 different tests. I didn't even know what I was testing for. I'm very mechanically inclined, not with cars, right? So I know what I'm saying is I know how to troubleshoot equipment. And I've been letting them know. I'm like, it's not on my side, but they got to go through their regular stuff, So I have to be a little patient. So, but Amber says back when people were okay with constructive suggestions on how to do their job better. I take it that Amber is having a tough time with one of her employees listening. That's how I'm going to take that. Somebody was asking me when I was going live, so I am live. There you go. All right. We'll get that going. Maybe she might need the link. So, didn't say you weren't being paid, but no, people aren't willing to put in effort for training or being better. Yeah, I would agree with that. I did a lot of extra stuff to learn stuff. I went beyond like what I do here. I taught myself. It is self-educated. I've taken suggestions from other people in the field. I often ask other people what I do, how to do it better. I ask that often, and they give me little suggestions here and there. But yeah, if you want to be better, man, you got to be ready for some constructive criticism in your life. Not everything is an attack. All right. So, well, 3 after today. Okay. I'm sorry you're having a day like that, Amber. I'm telling you, what you need to do is go to sober livings. Go to a couple of sober livings, say we're hiring. Those people will be there every freaking day because their livelihood at the moment depends upon that job. It does. So just a suggestion, not even a constructive suggestion, but I would find some sober livings in your home or in around your work. And there are a couple in Broomfield, right? And those are the nicer ones. So these people they're looking for work and they will stay committed too. And you can also help them with, but that is up to you because you know your job best, right? That might not be for that. So you know what time it is. You know what time it is. It's time for Dion's Daily Funnies. That's what it's time for. So those people aren't applying. Do me um do me a favor, Amber. Send me your information on that and let me know. They don't find their jobs through Indeed and Craigslist. They don't do that at Sober Livings. Get a hold of the Sober Living. You know what? I'm going to send you some messages on what I think, and I'm even more than happy to say, hey, and I'm happy to call the Sober Livings for you if you want. But all right, so we're going to do some dark dad jokes today, just because I feel like switching gears a little bit. All right, so I was going to tell a joke about the layoffs, but sadly, none of them work. Kind of like that fourth person at Amber's job today. They're no longer going to be working. What's the hardest tea to swallow? Reality. 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 Is it reality or reality? It's reality. But all right. Why did the employee at the calendar company get fired? He took a day off. I think we've told some of these. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. All right. You don't need a parachute to go skydiving. You need one to go skydiving twice. Oh, it's not easy being a mom. Otherwise, dads would do it. There we go. Good one on us males, right? Amber, I'll send you some messages on that. It's different. It's different. I don't know if they're using Indeed or not. So, all right. But I need to know what the job description is and that kind of stuff. So I know what type of people to go after for you. So, all right. But I'm willing to help you. That's what I'm saying. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm your host. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. I'm going to tell you about a quote unquote coincidence at the Bronco game in the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, a lot of things happened. They sure did. We had 2 touchdowns, right, in the fourth quarter. Each were worth 8 points. Demaryius Thomas's number is 88. The ending score was 33, which is the age that Demaryius Thomas died. So don't say there aren't coincidences. Don't sit here and tell me these are coincidences. All right. Morning, Heather. Good to see you. All right. Today we're talking about self-love versus love of self. You probably already got it figured out, but it's actually from a reading today. I'm doing One Day at a Time. This is Hazelden Literature. Before I forget, make sure you check out my stuff, trudgingtogether.org. $30 will get you. God, that sounded so stupid. We're having a Beyond Relapse. It'll be great for people whose this is your first holiday. All right. It's really good for the people first holiday. Ow. Ooh. I just stepped on my own toe. All right. It's still healing. It didn't hurt as much as I was expecting a lot more pain. I'll put it that way. A lot more. So, because usually that's what it does, but there's no toenail there. All right. But check out my stuff at trudgingtogether.org. Beyond Relapse, it's 90 minutes, $30 per square. It is on Zoom. So per square, if that makes sense. Okay. That means that you can have multiple people sitting in behind one square. I don't know if I should do that, but I'm trying to make it, may three friends can throw together $10 and go join it. See, then we can help things out. I'm always trying to do things and make things a little bit easier to get to our stuff. Okay. Now, $30 is very cheap. Most people are charging about 120. All right. So, and you're getting two of us, me and Angel. That's a good deal. That's a good deal. All right. Yeah, I told you I'm not good at promoting myself. And two people left. I don't know if it actually happened. There's a world of difference between the idea of self-love and love thyself and love of self. I keep doing that. All right. Love of self. Self-love is a reflection of an inflated ego around which, in our distorted view of our own self-importance, everything must revolve. I remember those days, and no, there's no way I'd want to go back to that today. There's no way I would want to go back to that. No, you know, the compounded confusion 24 hours a day. Well, it sucked. It sucked. I was the center of my own universe, and that wasn't working out very well for me. It wasn't. Expectations abound. I mean, the thing is, recovery teaches us to love ourselves again, but sometimes that love can slip into ego if we are not careful. All right. So there's a fine line between I'm proud of my growth and bow before my enlightened self. Can you hear the difference in there? All right. So, yeah, sometimes we get to a point where it's the feel better stage where this usually happens at about 3-4 months. Yeah, that's usually when it happens. That's usually when that's when a lot of people leave. It's when they decide, oh, well, there's the grass is greener on the other side. Okay. Now, you can go through the steps as fast or as slow as you want. Right. That is not the determination here. It's going to take about a year for you to get your shit together. It's going to take about a year. That seems to be average. For me, it took 4. Okay, but average about a year, right? That's when the healing really starts. All right, you hit that year, all right, and life gets real. Life changes at a year, okay? Because you've made a lot of progress. You become a different person. Now you've had a full year practicing the principles of filling up your cup, and maybe even by this time you're sponsoring people, you know. And this is the point when things are good, but they can also be very, very dangerous if we let it go to our head. Look at all the great stuff I did this year. We have to remember that no matter how much time we have, the only thing that counts is today, right now. It's the only thing that counts. I'm very proud of what you've done. I'm even gonna be excited for you. Right? I used to get jealous that people got things that I thought I deserved, but I got over that a long time ago. I'm just happy you got it. Because then I'm going to ask you, how'd you do that? Because I want it too. Now there's a difference between the self-love being, oh, they got that and I didn't, or love of self. They got that and I think it's awesome. I would like it too. I think I'm going to ask them and maybe they'll help me with that. It's just a different mindset. You know, you are not important. It sucks saying it that way, but we're not. I'm not important. I may be important to people and things like that, but in the grand scheme of things, people don't think of me. And that's okay. It's all right. I don't want millions of people thinking of me. That's too much energy pointed towards me. right? That understanding that we can be one small cog in the whole thing. Now, the thing is if one of those cogs falls off, kind of disrupts everything, doesn't it? So that means we got to stay consistent, right? What's a big thing, because in the beginning, staying sober and going to meetings for the first couple of weeks or month is fine, but at some point, action needs to be put into the program, or it's not really worth much. Just going to meetings is not going to give you, it might help you stay sober, okay? But if you don't get a sponsor, if you don't do the work, then what you're not going to get is recovery. And that is what we're going for. And this is the same thing. Self-love would be just getting sober. Love of self would be getting into recovery and changing, because you understand that your actions have consequences that are hurting other people. Now, if your consequences only hurt you and you only, I doubt you or me would have ever gotten sober. It kind of needs to happen that way. I have found that when an alcoholic suddenly realizes how much damage they are doing to their family, that's usually the number one reason for them to change. That's usually what I see. I can't let my kids grow up around this. I can't let my kids grow up around. And it's a great reason. I absolutely agree with you. I got sober for the same reason. My kids were older. They understood a little bit more. Okay. But it was for the same reason. Right. Because I didn't know love of self yet. I didn't know it. I didn't understand it. Okay. I mean, I kind of did in the first 12 years I had, but I think I missed a mark. I do. I think I missed a marker, because even in those 12 years, man, it's some pretty awful things. And I had paid the consequences for them. I still am to this day. So, right. Self-love is the breeding ground for hostility, arrogance, and a host of other character defects which blind us to any point of view but our own. It's a cloud that sits over your head. Yeah, and what is it? What is it? It's fear, man. It's all fear, right? And fear can consume anything good also, and we cannot live in constant fear. No, that's not. You shouldn't do that. It blocks you from the sunlight of the spirit. It does a lot of crazy things, because fear usually leads to anger, and anger can kill people, right? But what about love of self? Right? Love of self, in contrast, is an appreciation of our dignity and value as human beings. Love of self is an expression of self-realization from which springs humility. So, what is love of self? Love of self is humility and character building, because we love ourselves enough to change. Where when it's self-love, I expect you to change. And I see it happen too. Well, I'm changing. How come my significant other isn't? That's their choice. That is their choice, not one that you get to decide. Okay. So what do? Become a better person. Make them jealous of what you're going through, so maybe they might want it. Yeah. Right. It doesn't always work out that way. A lot of times it does, though, because the people in our lives love us, and they're like, "Oh, you found an answer." Well, they're lonely people too, and they kind of need their camaraderie. See, alcohol isolates everyone. Okay. That means the wife probably lost all of her friends due to her husband's alcohol. Well, if you're going to continue to support him, I'm not going to be around you. That kind of stuff. I can understand why people do that, because it can get pretty hectic. Some of these things that happen are toxic there. So what is this person? Well, they need Al-Anon. They need their set of people too, because they also feel lonely. They don't have any more friends. You drove them all away. Alcohol does that. And that's not cool either. So, love of self is understanding that our actions have consequences. And this is the difference between alcoholism and a lot of other people. Angel says, unless they get jealous and resentful. I was being rhetorical, but I think you missed earlier when I talked about jealousy. Right? If they want to get, if they want to get resentful, let them. All right. Love of self is an expression of self-realization from which springs humility. I know I'm repeating that, right? The self-realization. What am I doing? What am I putting into the world today? Because really, there's only one valid question. What am I going to do today to make the world a better place? What are you going to do? All you really need to do is be kind to other people. And that will happen automatically. And even before that, be kind to you. Be kind to you. All right. So I'm going to finish this up a little bit. Well, we're going to go to one other place. And I'm going to talk about boundaries just a little bit. I came up with kind of another concept of boundaries. So self-love. And this has it wrong. It has it backwards. It's taking self-love as the good one and love of self as the bad one. So self-love is pride, ego, importance, spiritual superiority, right? Week ago, somebody compared that I was religious and they were spiritual, and they said that to me, and it ticked me off. It was this, right? It was this right here, right? So one feeds humility, the other feeds the disease. So love of self would be compassion, forgiveness, acceptance, taking care of your physical, emotional, and spiritual needs. Yes, it's about taking care of you so you can be a better person to the people around you. Simple, straightforward, right? It can be kind of confusing though. You're like, you don't want me to be, ego all the time and think of myself all the time. Then why are you telling me to take care of myself? There's a difference. One is destructive and the other is constructive. You're an alcoholic. You're kind of smart. You're intelligent. You know the difference. You do. Okay. If you don't, fair enough. There are things I need to learn when I got here. Here's a great way to tell. Check your tummy. Ask your tummy. Yeah. Remember when you were a kid and you lied and your stomach hurt? You think it's changed? You think that's changed? No. Uh-uh. What is it? It's your inner child. Your intuition is your inner child. Your intuition is your safety net where you are safe and protected even from your own bullshit. So listen to your intuition. It's probably right. Okay. Now, we alcoholics have been avoiding our intuition for years. So you're going to need to practice this a little bit before it gets in sync. So you might mess up a little bit, but thank God for the 10th step. You're trying to grow and become a better person. All right. So ask the question, but ask your tummy and see how your stomach feels about it. I use it all the time, especially if I want to if I'm bored and want to do something, then I ask myself, oh, do we want to do this? Do we want to do that? And the one that when I get a little tingling into my stomach, I know that's the route that I want to go. Right? So today I pray, may God, who loves me, teach me to love myself. Aww. May I notice that the most arrogant and officious humans are not so completely sure of themselves after all. Right? Instead, they're apt to have a painfully low self-image and insecurity, which they may cloak in pomp and princely trappings. Nowadays, we call that helping others while looking good. Oh, I'm going to go do a 12-step call. I need to put makeup on. I need to put lipstick on. I need to put on a tie. I need to shave. No, you don't. I'm in pajamas and a t-shirt right now. I almost always do these in my pajamas. I just got up. All right. Now I call them drumming pants. So best watch it. And don't you dare call me lazy, because I get done in 2-3 hours what takes you all day. All right. I've had to practice at that. So I want to hear it. Unless it's selling toner. Then you're gonna kick my ass. I am. That's what we need. We need to find Amber an employee that comes in and kicks ass and gives Amber a run for her money. That's what she needs. All right. Then you'd only need the two of you. All right. Good luck on finding that person. So I've just been in sales for too long to know. All right. I mean, you go through as many people as you get newcomers in AA meetings. I'm not kidding. And they all want a job, but none of them want to work. All right. Oh, I'm great on the phone, until they get on the phone. Yeah. May God show me that when I can like myself, I'm duly crediting him, since every living thing is a work of God. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this. When you put yourself down, you are complaining about God's handiwork. How do you like me now? When you cut yourself down, you are complaining to God about his handiwork. All right. Today I'll remember, I will try to like myself. I like the fact that they put like and not love. All right. Because here's the thing. We're going to do like and love, and then we'll cover boundaries. All right. So, like and love. I love everybody. The only requirement for me to love you is that you are a child of God. That's all it takes. Right? Even the person that's done the worst to me, if they came to me and asked me for help, I would do it. If it was valid, I would do it. I wouldn't even think about it. I would just do it. Love you too, Amber. I'll just send you a text on that stuff. I want to try and help out a little bit so that your life's a little bit easier, because you always make my life easier all the time. So you're like one of my best friends at the moment. All right. You're an angel. These are just full of my best friends. But anyway, right? But liking somebody takes effort for me, including me. It takes effort. I have to go out of my way to see something about them that is good for me to like somebody, right? Love means help. Love means unconditional. Love means those things. Like has some requirements for me. Like is a friendship. It is a brotherhood. It is my circle, right? And I also work on this. I don't need any of you in my life. I want you all in my life. Big difference. I want you in my life. I no longer need you in my life. God will supply those people. But if I want you in my life, you're probably a pretty good person, because I do not deal with bullshit. I do not. And I don't care who you are. I remember once I went to go help my friend Nick. Okay. Nick is 6'5", 300 pounds. He used to center for Trent Green in college. Okay. Trent Green was the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs forever. He was the demise of the Denver Bronco game several times. Okay. We went to go pick up some of his stuff, and he saw, he told me, "Oh, that's my TV in there." And I didn't know if it was his TV or not. So he's like, "We need to go steal that." I'm like, "Fuck you, no. I am not going to go steal a TV with you, Nick. We have a television at home. We don't need some big thing." And I tell you now, I don't have bail money for us. And he was insistent too. And even though he was that big, I would still tell him to his face, "No, fuck you, dude." We met in jail. All right. And but at the same time, you know, he pulled my ass out of a lot of trouble. All right, let's talk about boundaries, not trouble. Let's just say the Mexicans didn't like us too much in jail. I'll just put it that way. And they were after me, right? Because I was collecting way too much power there. I didn't mean to, right? I'm just quiet. Yeah, believe it or not. Anyway, it's just another mask that I wore. Boundaries. All right. I was listening to something, somebody brought up this other concept. So I'm taking a look at that. Boundaries are not walls, they are more like doors. Okay. Now, depending on the door is whether or not I've given you the key to that door. Otherwise, you're not allowed to go through that door. I have other friends in my life that they don't have any keys. They just have automatic acceptance in through the door. I didn't need to give them keys. They haven't treated me badly, right? So there are different areas. There might be trust, respect. Does this person listen to me? How much loyalty is there? These types of things, all right? So if you think of boundaries more of doors and allowing people to have certain keys, I think it makes a little bit more, that makes a lot more sense to me than just putting up a wall that nobody can get over, because that's not how it works, right? My boundaries are not one size fits all. They are determined upon other people's actions. Yes. And I watch them and I see them. Even the slightest little thing kind of adds to it. So I just heard that, thought it was I thought it was kind of neat, you know. So, all right. So let's kind of wrap this up. All right. So closing thoughts, we are not trying to become gods. We're just trying to become grateful humans. Wow. It's a great line. We are not trying to become gods. We're just trying to be grateful humans. So love yourself enough to stay humble. That's where the real peace lives. Be kind to you. Be kind to you. All right. Somebody did ask, somebody brought up a topic. I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared for it this morning, but I may do it after I'll go live after my my therapy. Right, that'll be at 3 o'clock. So in about 3 hours, I'll go live again. But somebody brought up a topic. Pain was the topic, but what kind of pain are we talking about? So got to do a couple questions. We'll see. We'll see if that's it. A lot of times I do my therapy and something comes up and I come talk about it because it's fresh. And that's usually the best time for me to do it, to pass on the information to you, so that, that's what we're here for, to help each other out, to help a lending hand. Right. Yesterday in the meeting, two people were, my daughter was talking to one person, "Hey, you want to go to the gym together?" "Yeah, I can help you out over here. I'm actually a fitness coach," or whatever they are. These are the benefits of being in the program. That's what we do for each other. I utilize my skills to make your life better, and you do the same for me. It's what we do. It's how we stick together. That's what makes it a brotherhood and a sisterhood. There's a lot of benefits to being in AA beyond recovery. All right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.